picture this for a second. It's March 8th, 2026.
Okay.
You are boarding this massive, luxurious cruise ship in Singapore.
Nice. Sounds like a good start.
Right. And ahead of you is this 4-night, 6-day journey sailing toward Malaysia.
I could definitely go for one of those right now.
Honestly, same. And your itinerary on this ship is totally packed.
Hmm.
You've got coastal excursions planned. There is a unique Taekwondo training session.
Wait, Taekwondo on a cruise?
Yeah, surprisingly. And then some deep morning meditation waiting for you when you finally dock in Penang.
Oh, wow. That sounds incredible.
It really does. On paper, it sounds like the absolute perfect getaway. You know, just a classic high-end vacation to escape the daily grind.
Yeah, it sounds like the ultimate retreat. The kind of trip you take when you just want to completely turn your brain off for a week and sit by the pool.
Exactly. But, and here's the twist we're exploring in today's deep dive, we're not actually looking at a travel diary.
No, we definitely are not.
We are diving into a profound, honestly, kind of startlingly insightful philosophical lecture. And it was delivered just a few weeks after that exact ship docked.
Which is such a wild pivot.
It really is. And the ideas we're unpacking use this exact cruise, this seemingly standard luxury vacation, to diagnose why modern society feels so incredibly frustrated right now.
Yeah, it's all about connecting the micro to the macro.
Right, taking a luxury cruise and connecting it to the actual fate and, well, the stagnation of humanity.
Which is just such a compelling way to look at the world, taking an event that most of us associate with pure leisure and flipping it into a diagnostic tool.
Totally.
We're exploring a really unique framework today for understanding global conflicts, societal anger, and why we all feel so stuck. It's a brilliant look at human psychology on a planetary scale.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Because to understand why a cruise matters to global philosophy, we first have to completely redefine what travel even is.
Right.
The premise in the source material is that this specific trip was strictly an overseas cultural exploration. It was absolutely not a pleasure trip.
That distinction is crucial. The people on this cruise are described as being in training.
Mm-hmm.
They are stepping into a very specific role. It's this concept called social parents.
Social parents. I really love that term, but we should probably define it for everyone listening. Who exactly are we talking about here? I mean, are these politicians, tech CEOs?
It's actually much broader than that. A social parent isn't necessarily an elected official or a billionaire.
Okay.
It refers to anyone who is preparing to mentor, to lead, and to guide society. Basically, people stepping up because the traditional structures have failed.
Oh, interesting. So they feel a personal responsibility for the collective.
Exactly. They feel profound responsibility. So they aren't on this ship to just sip cocktails by the buffet. They're there to observe.
To study the world.
Yeah, because while you can't visit every country in 6 days, being physically out in the world, surrounded by thousands of different people, it's a necessary step.
You have to engage with the international community.
Right. They are actively studying the social strata, the hierarchies, the way different demographics interact under pressure and in leisure.
It's kind of like going to a massive amusement park, but instead of riding the roller coasters or playing the carnival games, you're just there to study the crowd dynamics.
Oh, that is a perfect analogy. Yeah.
Like you're watching how the families interact when they're tired, how the workers manage the endless queues. You're watching how different socioeconomic groups move through the space. You're studying the entire ecosystem of the park, while everyone else is just distracted by the flashing lights.
That is exactly the mindset. You're stepping back to see the whole board. And there is a very specific timeline attached to this kind of observation in the source.
Right. The timeline is fascinating.
Yeah. Humanity, and specifically nations that have already achieved high economic development, like South Korea, which is used as the primary example here, is currently in a strict preparatory phase.
And this phase lasts until the year 2030, right?
Yeah, exactly. Until 2030.
So preparatory phase until 2030. What does that actually look like in practice for someone trying to be one of these social parents?
It means that right now, the goal is not to rush out and make a big splash.
Okay.
It's not about chasing immediate, tangible achievements, launching a quick initiative, doing a highly visible project, and waiting for the public applause.
Just doing things for the photo op.
Right. That is the old paradigm. The argument here is that during this phase, until 2030, our sole focus should be purely on studying who we are.
Understanding our brothers and sisters globally.
Yes. We have to figure out what humanity actually needs right now, fundamentally, before we take another step.
Wait, I have to push back on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because isn't it just human nature to want to take action immediately? If you or I see a glaring problem in the world, like poverty, inequality, whatever it is, the instinct is to jump in, fix it, and get a result.
Of course, that's completely natural.
So telling people who want to help to just observe and prepare for years feels, I don't know, almost lazy. It feels really counterintuitive.
It definitely feels counterintuitive because we have been totally conditioned to value motion over direction.
Oh, wow. Motion over direction.
Yeah, but jumping in blindly is the exact trap we are being warned against here. Premature action without a fundamentally new paradigm is useless.
So you're just fixing the symptom, not the cause.
Exactly. If you just run out and try to fix systemic problems person by person, using the exact same logic that created the problems in the first place, you're just spinning your wheels.
You aren't actually changing anything.
Right. True contribution to human co-prosperity requires researching and developing an entirely new culture. You have to create a system that actually helps people evolve.
Rather than just putting a Band-Aid on it so you can get a quick round of applause and feel good about yourself.
Spot on.
Okay, so if we are supposed to be sitting back, observing, and preparing a completely new paradigm until 2030, it really begs the question, what exactly went wrong with the old one?
Right.
Why do we need a new culture so badly?
Well, that brings us to the core philosophy on human nature in the text.
Yeah.
The fundamental premise here is that humans are creatures of growth. We are designed to develop.
Okay.
And as long as we are developing, learning, and expanding our understanding of the universe, things are generally fine. We are happy, we cooperate, we share resources.
But the idea is that we stopped.
We hit a massive wall. Starting around the new millennium, the 2000s, the speed of true human development began to slow down.
Just hit the brakes.
Yeah. And for the last 10 to 15 years, the argument is that human progress, like real paradigm-shifting progress, has completely frozen.
Okay, wait, I have to challenge that completely.
Go for it.
Stopped for the last 15 years. We'd had massive, unprecedented leaps in technology in the last 15 years. We have artificial intelligence, we have reusable rockets, we all carry supercomputers in our pockets. How can anyone look at the modern world and say, progress has frozen?
What's fascinating here is the distinction between technological growth and human growth.
Okay, unpack that.
Upgrading from an iPhone 14 to an iPhone 15 is technological progress, absolutely. But does it give you a deeper understanding of your purpose?
Well, no, definitely not.
Does it teach society how to live in harmony? No. Our tools evolved at a staggering rate, but our philosophical and spiritual development totally stalled.
Oh, I see. We just got much faster and much more efficient at being lost.
Exactly. We are highly efficient at being lost.
Yeah.
The old paradigm was all about material accumulation, building economies, building infrastructure. We did that.
We won that game.
Right. But once the skyscrapers were built, we didn't know what to do inside them. We had no new paradigm for how to live together once survival was guaranteed.
Man, here's where it gets really interesting to me. Because when you frame it like that, it explains this incredibly bold claim about the root of global conflict.
Yeah, the boredom aspect.
Right, because when human philosophical growth stops and people have nothing meaningful or progressive to strive for, they get bored. And what happens when humans get collectively existentially bored?
They start scratching at each other.
Yes, scratching at each other. It is such a visceral, perfect phrase. It completely captures the petty, agitated, highly reactive nature of the modern world.
It really does. If we connect this to the bigger picture, global conflicts, wars, the intense political polarization we see everywhere, these aren't just calculated arguments over resources or territory.
What are they then?
They are symptoms of a collective planetary stagnation.
So we forgot how to evolve, so we started fighting just to feel something.
Exactly. When people are developing and moving forward, they enjoy the momentum. There is a natural harmony in mutual growth.
Because everyone's looking forward.
Right. But when you freeze that progress, and there is no new vision for the future being offered by the leaders of society, people revert.
They slide backward.
They revert to greed, to squabbling over who is right and who is wrong, and to the strong preying on the weak. War, in this framework, isn't some grand geopolitical chess match.
It's just restless energy.
It is the chaotic, restless energy of a species that has nowhere productive to put its focus.
It makes total sense. Like, if you have a high-performance sports car and you put it in neutral and just rev the engine to the red line, eventually it's going to tear itself apart.
Oh, doubt.
The energy has to go somewhere. If it's not moving forward, it goes sideways. But if that stagnant energy is causing literal wars on a macro scale, what is it doing to us on a Tuesday?
That's the real question.
Yeah, like what happens when that boredom and frustration trickles down into our daily lives?
It causes deep daily social friction. And this is where the rapid economic rise of South Korea serves as a perfect microcosm in the source.
Oh, right, the South Korea example.
South Korea achieved a remarkably high standard of living very quickly. They won the material game.
Right.
But then, just like the rest of the world, that philosophical progress stalled. And when the progress stalled, the wealthy elites, the people who had the resources, the education, and the power to lead, they stopped providing guidance.
They hit the finish line of the old paradigm, didn't know what to do next, so they just started playing golf.
Literally.
They took aimless vacations overseas. They essentially checked out of their societal responsibilities.
And this raises an important question. How does the general public react to that? The psychology of the struggling public is absolutely fascinating here.
Because they're watching this happen.
They are. The public sees these elites going on permanent vacation, living lavishly, and they get incredibly angry. But the public doesn't even fully understand why they are so angry.
They can't articulate it.
Right. They don't have the philosophical vocabulary to stand up and say, I am upset because the societal leaders have abandoned their duty to provide a new cultural paradigm.
Right. People don't talk like that. They just look at the luxury and say, I hate seeing that. It makes my blood boil.
They just know they despise the sight of it. The resentment builds up because the people with power aren't using that power to help society grow. They're just hoarding it.
And this manifests in highly specific, incredibly intense public backlash against luxury items.
Oh, we see this all the time.
Think about the outrage you see online over Louis Vuitton bags, expensive watches, necklaces, brand name shoes. The public sees someone wealthy or powerful wearing these things. And because of this underlying societal stagnation, they absolutely tear them apart. They scrutinize every single dollar.
We see this constantly with public figures. So the source talks about the intense, almost obsessive controversies over a president or a first lady wearing an expensive brooch or carrying a high-end handbag.
And just to be super clear for you listening, we're not taking any political stance on this.
Well, absolutely not. We're just reporting what the source says.
Definitely. No sides taken at all. We're strictly looking at this from the source's sociological standpoint. But it is so fascinating because it does not matter if the politician is on the far left or the far right.
No, the public reaction to their luxury items is identical.
The outrage is completely bipartisan, which proves this isn't actually about politics at all. It's a symptom of a stagnant society that is angry at its leadership across the board.
Yes.
The public is fundamentally frustrated by a lack of forward momentum.
Precisely. Instead of demanding deep philosophical leadership, which again is hard to articulate, they redirect all that anxious, stagnant energy into interrogating where a public figure got a piece of jewelry.
Right. Let's find the receipt.
Yeah. They ask, where did you get the money for that? Who gave it to you? How dare you wear that when things are so bad? All of our societal time, our media cycles, our collective energy gets completely wasted on these petty investigations.
We are scratching at each other over accessories because we don't know how to build a better world.
That's exactly it.
It leads to this detail in the text that is honestly kind of humorous, but also incredibly dark.
About the hiding?
Yes. The backlash against displaying wealth has become so toxic that the wealthy are literally hiding their luxury goods.
It's wild.
We are seeing people wear normal beat-up sneakers when they're walking around their own cities, just so they don't get photographed and criticized online. They pack their luxury bags away deep in their suitcases, and they only take them out and actually wear them when they go overseas where nobody knows them.
It is a profound irony, really. Society worked so hard for decades to build an economy where people could afford to enjoy nice things.
And now they can't even wear them.
Right. Because the leadership stopped leading and cultural growth froze, the environment became too toxic to actually enjoy the fruits of that labor. The issue isn't that people shouldn't wear nice things.
Okay, what is it then?
The issue is that the public has been staring at a stagnant society for too long. When there is no vision for the future, all the public can see is the superficial, the expensive coat, the luxury bag, and they resent it because they feel abandoned by the person wearing it.
So, if hiding your expensive sneakers in a suitcase isn't the solution to this societal anger, what is? How do we actually fix this friction?
Well, the source suggests the answer lies in matching your outward appearance with a genuine societal contribution.
Okay, so this is where we get into the true role of leadership and the concept of dressing the part.
Exactly. The stance here is very clear and maybe a little surprising to some people. Leaders actually should dress well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a president, a first lady, a CEO, or any social parent is the face of their group or even their nation.
There was a great example of this from the cruise itself. There was a chancellor, the head of the researchers on the ship, who apparently preferred to dress very modestly to keep a low profile, but they were actively encouraged to dress well. The logic is that the chancellor is the face of the students. If the leader looks shabby or unkempt to prove how humble they are, the entire group looks bad by association.
It isn't just about throwing on a designer suit to look rich, though. It is about appropriateness, respect, and dignity.
Right.
You dress appropriately for the situation you are in. If you need to roll up your sleeves and do hard physical labor, you dress for that.
Wear the work boots.
Exactly. But if you are stepping up to lead, to negotiate, to represent society on a global stage, you dress impeccably for that. You have to manage your appearance, your attire, your whole presence, because you are a representative of the people you lead.
So what does this all mean for you and me listening to this? Because it sounds like we are bordering on high-end fashion advice.
Haha. It does sound like that, but it's actually the psychology of inspiration.
Okay, explain that.
It is not about vanity at all. It is about dignity. The public will not resent a well-dressed leader or a wealthy individual if that person is actually moving society forward.
Ah, I see.
If you are doing the hard work of creating a new paradigm, if you are providing answers, breaking the stagnation, and guiding people to a better future, they want you to look good.
They want their leader to shine.
Exactly. You have to make people want to emulate you. You have to inspire them to follow your lead. And appearance is a part of that inspiration.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Like if I get on an airplane and the pilot walks out of the cockpit looking incredibly sharp in a crisp, tailored uniform, I feel confident.
Right.
I feel safe. I don't sit in my seat and get mad at them for having a nicer uniform than my outfit because they're flying the plane. They're actively taking me somewhere I want to go. But if that exact same plane is just parked on the tarmac for 10 hours, the air conditioning is broken, we are going nowhere,
Yeah.
and the pilot comes out in a luxury suit just to casually play golf on the wing of the plane,
Yeah.
I am going to be furious.
That is a brilliant analogy. The anger is never actually about the suit. It is about the fact that the plane isn't moving. The public is furious because society is parked on the tarmac.
And this concept of stepping up to lead, of getting the plane moving again, brings us right back to the deck of that massive cruise ship sailing through Southeast Asia.
Let's look at the physical reality of that ship. You have a massive vessel carrying over 5,000 people. It is a floating city designed purely for distraction and leisure.
But for the group of social parents in training, there was a completely different purpose to the trip. Going out into the ocean wasn't just about catching a nice sea breeze.
No, not at all.
The goal mentioned at the end of the text is to go out into the 5 oceans and 6 continents.
Right. The goal is to manage the energy of the oceans,
Okay.
to go out into nature and fill in the missing energy within themselves.
Okay.
It is about absorbing the sheer power and scale of nature to prepare themselves for the immense burden of leadership.
I have to admit some confusion here, though. Absorbing ocean energy sounds a bit mystical to me.
It sounds very esoteric, yeah.
So what does that actually mean in a practical sense? Am I just supposed to stare at the water and, like, wait for a superpower?
Haha, no, it's more practical than that. Think about it in terms of scale. You cannot solve global stagnation from inside a tiny cubicle, staring at a screen, arguing with people in your immediate bubble.
Right. You're too zoomed in.
Exactly. The ocean represents the sheer humbling vastness of the world. Getting out onto the water, traveling to new continents, it forces you out of your petty local
It
squabbles.
changes your perspective.
It humbles the ego. You realize how massive the world is and how interconnected humanity has to be. Absorbing that energy means absorbing that macro perspective. You need that massive global viewpoint to prepare a new paradigm.
You literally have to expand your horizon. That makes so many more sense.
Yeah.
And out of the thousands of people on board that giant cruise liner who were just eating at the buffet and hitting the casino,
Yeah.
this specific group of social parents stood out because of their energy and their purpose. They weren't checking out. They were tuning into the global frequency.
And that is the ultimate takeaway here. The world right now, in its stagnant, angry, fighting state, is absolutely desperate for people to step up.
It really is.
It needs people, wonderful people, who are willing to do the internal work, to break out of their microbubbles, to absorb that global energy, and to prepare themselves to guide humanity out of this pause.
Okay, let's bring all these threads together. Because what started out sounding like a fun diary entry from a 2026 cruise is actually a profound metaphor for exactly where humanity is sitting today. From global wars breaking out simply because we've stopped evolving philosophically, to the daily friction of hiding designer bags in suitcases so our neighbors don't yell at us, the symptoms of our stagnation are literally everywhere.
They are everywhere, and the cure is recognizing that we are in a preparatory phase until 2030. We need to stop chasing immediate, superficial results.
It's trying to get applause.
Right. We need to stop fighting over the scraps of the old material paradigm. We need to use this time to observe, to gather a global perspective, and to prepare the new cultural ideas that will finally get humanity growing again.
It is a massive task, but it completely shifts your perspective on things. It takes the free-floating anxiety and anger of the modern world and gives it a clear diagnosis. We aren't irreparably broken, we're just bored.
Wow, yeah, we're just bored.
We hit a plateau, and we are waiting for the next step.
And that brings up a really important question for you to consider as we wrap up today's deep dive.
Okay, what is it?
Think about your own life, independent of global politics. When you hit a plateau in your career, or maybe a stall in a long-term relationship, do you find yourself starting petty arguments?
Oh, that's a good point.
Do you start nitpicking your partner or your coworkers, just like nations do when they stagnate?
We all do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So next time you feel the urge to scratch at someone over something incredibly small, take a breath and ask yourself, are you actually mad at them, or are you just frustrated because you, personally, have stopped growing?
Wow. That is a question that is going to stick with me. It completely changes how you view every simple argument.
Yeah, it really does.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. It was always a privilege to explore these incredible concepts with you, to unpack the ideas that shape our world, and hopefully to help all of us understand our own journey just a little bit better. Keep growing, keep looking at the horizon, and we will catch you next time.